Good morning, guys. Thanks for listening to Coffee with Christ. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button below. Share these with your friends. Today, it's a good day. It's windy. It's windy. So I hope you didn't fix your hair too good before you go out. I'm going to use that as an excuse for the way I look today. Okay, Matthew chapter 3, verse 17 and 4, verse 1 and 2. That's what I want to start out and I want to read to you today. Because I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere good, guys. So, okay. This is after Jesus' baptism. John baptized him. And it says, "And a voice from heaven said, 'This is my dearly loved Son, who brings me great joy.'" Following that, see, our Bible separates it out, but it was written in a whole flow. So the next verse says, "Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted there by the devil." Okay, let me read that in one flow so you can really hear this. "And a voice from heaven said, 'This is my dearly loved Son, who brings me great joy.' Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. For 40 days and 40 nights he fasted and became very hungry." Man, think about that. Like, those don't really go together in our human minds, right? It doesn't fit. Like, so you're here and Jesus gets baptized and the Spirit of God descends on him like a dove. God says, "This is my dearly loved Son, and he brings me joy." And then boom, the Spirit of God leads Jesus right into the wilderness to literally be tempted by the devil and have to go through all this yucky stuff. That doesn't make sense, because what do we do as humans? We think all of us have thought at one time or another, when we're out in that wilderness season and we're having some bad stuff, we're being tempted by the devil, so to speak. We're being tempted by our flesh. Just bad things are happening. Maybe they're completely out of our control. We feel like we are under spiritual attack from the enemy. And we're like, what? The Spirit led Jesus into that right after God says that he's dearly loved? Because in our mind, we think if you're dearly loved, nothing bad's ever going to happen. I don't care if we never actually voice that out of our mouth. That's what we think. If we're dearly loved, we're never going to have to go through anything. And unfortunately, that's a gospel that's been preached many times. And that's just not the truth. So it just struck me and it just laid on my heart so heavy this morning. If you are going through something that is hard, if you're in the middle of a wilderness season, I mean, it is crazy. You, son or daughter, are still dearly loved by God and you bring him joy. It doesn't correlate. A lot of people get angry with God. I get it. That's the reason they're like, I don't believe in God. I'm like, if you're angry at God, you really believe in him. But we've all been there. We've all done that. And so the encouragement is just read this. And I want you to understand that this was like 40 days and 40 nights, but I want you to think about this in terms of like your life. Instead of getting angry at God, because the temptations are never going to go away as long as you're in the body. They're just not. But you know what? Study on. Instead of getting angry at God, study on. Look at Jesus's life and see what he's done as he walks throughout and then the finished work on the cross, and that he gives us tools and he equips us to be able to overcome the same way he did in his wilderness season. I mean, he didn't get there and think, guess the Father doesn't love me. I'm mad at him. He didn't do that. And there's no condemnation for being there, but I'm just saying, don't be there. Don't let that's our fleshly blend. Don't bend to that, because you are dearly loved by God. You are dearly loved. He has not left you or forsaken you in the wilderness. He has not. It may seem like it. You may not understand. You may be angry. Tell him. He knows you're angry at him. He can handle it. But don't think that God doesn't love you, that you don't bring him joy. And study and find out now through the finished work of the cross, the tools that we have to overcome. And so that's what was on my heart today. I hope you have a great day, guys. I'm praying for you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.